Hi, and welcome to ThePrint. My name is Karanjeet Kaur. I'm a journalist and an editor. Let's talk about Goa's unique tradition of Narakasura and how modern artists are interpreting an ancient myth. Diwali in Goa is a far cry from the noisy, hyperactive ones in Delhi. Unlike North India, there's no nip in the air. Instead, it's steamy hot, which induces an overall languidness. Yet, in my mixed neighborhood, there's an unmistakable undercurrent of excitement. That energy isn't directed at fireworks or puja rituals. It is focused on a supine effigy that comes together bit by bit, with a little help from communal magic. This is Narakasura, the demon king who once reigned over Pragjyotish, the mythical kingdom found in several Hindu texts. When I first moved to Goa, I encountered some 25 Narakasuras within a 5-kilometer radius. Every 200 meters or so, a new demon loomed, each with a different aesthetic and each backlit to perfection. I've seen Narakasuras that rise 20 feet in the air and are accompanied by a full suite of amplifiers blasting Bollywood songs. Others that were inspired by the Korean Netflix show Squid Game. Some Narakasuras can be animatronic and move their head and hands, much to the terror of stray animals. Now, the celebration of Narakasura in Goa, while superficially similar to the burning of Ravana effigies in North India, bears a distinctly different flavor. Both rituals involve the creation and destruction of demonic figures, symbolizing the triumph of good over evil. However, where Ravana is treated as a solemn, almost detached symbol of wickedness, Narakasura is approached with a mix of reverence and playfulness. Where Ravana effigies are often mass-produced for a public that gathers only for the spectacle of burning, Narakasura is a community project, offering young men an opportunity to bond. Funding often comes from local contributions, MLAs, and corporators. And each year, the creations become increasingly complex. Multiple competitions are held around the state. On Narak Chaturdashi, it's common to see effigies being loaded onto trucks that speed between North and South Goa in a bid to enter different contests. The cash prizes are often funneled back into the next year's effigy. It remains a celebration of a craft, and the process of putting a Narakasura together is as much a part of the festival as the ultimate conflagration. The only villain in the mix is the unseasonal rain that threatens to undo weeks of painstaking work. Now, the myth of Narakasura is central to both Goan and Assamese traditions, but takes on a distinct character in each region. In Goa, the story focuses on Narakasura as a tyrannical demon king who imprisoned thousands of women. He is eventually defeated by Lord Krishna, aided by his wife Satyabhama, who is an incarnation of Bhudevi, Narakasura's own mother. In contrast, the Assamese myth presents a more complex Narakasura, who makes an ill-fated attempt to marry the goddess Kamakhya by building a staircase to her temple in one night. This version humanizes Narakasura, portraying him as a figure of ambition and desire rather than pure evil. Over the last few years, though, Narakasura has become more than just a festival fixture. For some Goan artists, it's a muse, inspiring works that interpret the myth in new ways. This reimagining of the myth offers a window into how traditional narratives can acquire a new life in contemporary contexts. One such artist is Deeptej. He's a founding member of Goa Open Arts Festival and was on the 2019 Forbes India 30 Under 30 list. In 2022, Deeptej put together an outdoor installation called Incarnation Park for the Serendipity Arts Festival. Deeptej, who grew up making Narakasuras to earn money, fused the myth with an outdoor gym. The installation featured various incarnations of Narakasura in the form of exercise equipment, in a space where urban ethos met traditional craft. This was a natural creative route for Deeptej, who grew up in Kumbharjua. He told me that he would spend a lot of time in the attic, which is used to store random, unwanted stuff. That was my treasure space, he said. Deeptej trained himself to fashion these discarded materials into new objects, and his skills were quickly noticed by others in his neighborhood. Like all children that grew up in the 1990s, Deeptej was fascinated by Ramanan Sagar's Ramayana. That, coupled with his participation in tableaus made during the Shigmotsav parade, sparked his interest in making Narkasurs. Even as a 15-year-old, he began to get commissions to make Ganesh idols and Narkasur effigies. He told me, as a child, I would have sleepless nights, not about my exams, but about the idols that I was crafting. I was worried that the rain would spoil them. His experience crafting large-scale Narkasurs came in handy when he built Incarnation Park. Deeptej, who worked with local engineer artists Sayesh Gaude and Shivam Kundekar, said that the whole project was like an R&D exploration. Every day, something or the other broke down, but it taught him that people would interact with it the way they wanted, not the way he intended. Just the way Deeptej had interpreted the myth in a new fashion, visitors to the outdoor gym would draw their own meanings from the installations. Another artist who has found inspiration in the Narkasur tradition is Akshay Manjrekar. He is an illustrator and a contemporary sculptor whose childhood fascination with the festival has evolved into a professional exploration of the myth. Akshay began making Narkasurs as a child, creating increasingly intricate effigies over the years. He told me that during his school years, he would take his exam question papers and stuff them into a Narkasur so that they could burn. This is the only year he hasn't worked on a Narakasura because he's in Bangalore and he feels very guilty about it. Akshay's most notable interpretation of the Narakasura myth came through his work with quicksand. The Research and Design Collective put together a virtual reality artwork that was a part of the Goa Heritage Project in 2018. This innovative endeavor aimed to bring the Narakasura tradition to life in a digital realm, making it accessible to a global audience. For the project, Akshay crafted miniature Narakasura models using paper mache, which were then digitized through photogrammetry and incorporated into a VR environment. This fusion of traditional craftsmanship and technology allowed users to explore the story behind Narakasura in an immersive, interactive format. By translating the physical art of Narakasura making into a virtual experience, Akshay's work exemplifies how ancient myths can be reinterpreted and preserved through modern mediums, ensuring their relevance in alien contexts. Akshay dreams of elevating his Narakasurs to rival the mechanical marvels of Le Machine de Lille Museum in France. And it's evident that Goa's Demon King has transcended its traditional bounds. The Narakasur was once a simple figure made from hay and bamboo, but it is now a symbol of the power of storytelling and communal creativity.